Everything. The ice maker on the machine, I almost fell over when the first time I heard it. It was like, what is that?
Most people probably don't think twice about hearing little noises around your house, but for one Marinette County woman, being able to hear the most mundane sounds in life has become such a joy. That's because she spent nearly her entire life unable to hear.
Well, this was until she found out about a surgery new to the Green Bay area that not only brought sound back to her, but changed nearly everything about her life. Only on Action 2 News, Sarah Thompson shows us why J.P. Miller has become a national advocate, urging the severely hearing impaired to consider cochlear implants.
The world is full of noise. To most of us, it's just part of everyday life until you can't hear it.
I couldn't use the phone. I couldn't listen to music.
The last time J.P. Miller could hear well without a hearing device, John F. Kennedy was president.
For the progress of all people.
I think I had my first hearing aid when I was in 2nd grade and my second hearing aid in 5th grade, and then I just had to keep getting the most powerful ones they made.
Before long, hearing aids didn't work either. To cope with her degenerative hearing loss, JP learned to read lips.
I'm sitting in bars, sometimes I would be watching somebody across the bar and going, oh, that's the worst pickup line I've ever seen in my life.
If I was in the other room, I'd have to come into the room, get in front of her so she could read lips, and that was the only way you could communicate.
Despite those struggles, JP and her husband, Tom Winters, learned to get by. But crowds and noisy places were overwhelming.
And after a while, I think you get so tired from trying to understand what people were saying and amid all the noise. So it's exhausting.
When JP's audiologist told her cochlear implant surgery was now being performed in Green Bay, she decided to at least check it out.
So this is what the part looks like that goes under the skin. And there's a very, very small electrode here.
JP met with Prevea audiologist Lisa Ambrosius and ear, nose, and throat surgeon Dr. Michael Oldenburg, who just completed his 100th cochlear implant surgery in Green Bay. With no ability to understand any words, JP was the perfect candidate.
A surgeon surgically implants a little electrode into the inner ear, and that stimulates the nerve directly.
It's kind of a snail shape, and that's actually what I place underneath the skin.
Via Zoom, Dr. Oldenburg shows us the implant that goes into the inner ear, called the cochlea, and stimulates the hearing nerve. In people with severe hearing loss, the nerve still works. It's usually the cells in the cochlea that don't, so the implant bypasses those. JP had heard about cochlear implants for years, but let travel and her fear of surgery keep her from even considering it. But when she found out they were being offered in Green Bay, she reluctantly agreed, but only if they do both ears at the same time, so she didn't have to do surgery twice.
Today's the day of your surgery. How are you feeling?
Terrified and crying, and I don't want to go.
She had to heal for 3 weeks, unable to hear anything before having the implants turned on.
So now you're hearing out of both ears, and it probably sounds a little different between the two.
The voice sounds very different.
But hearing wasn't automatic.
The sound that they hear afterwards is not like normal hearing. It's very robotic at first.
It was like, what is that noise? The clock. I could hear the clock ticking, and I couldn't tell what it was. It was just, I almost shot that clock a couple times too.
For months after her 2018 surgery, the couple would sit and listen to train JP's brain to recognize new sounds.
He said, you're going to have to learn to filter sounds out. Ignore them. Birds. I walked out here and was like, are birds always that noisy? Part of the difference would be is if you couldn't see more than 10 feet in front of you and you couldn't see color, and you had an operation and now you had 20/20 vision and you could see in full color. That's how significantly different it is. Amazing. It's really life-changing.
They can enjoy the little things.
This is one of my favorites.
Especially music.
I have downloaded 400 songs on my phone. It's my making up for 40 years of not hearing music, and I love it. I love it.
She even loves hearing life's not-so-blissful moments.
Well, we were having a little spat, okay, and he walked down the steps, and when he got to the bottom of the steps, he made a comment. And I was standing at the top of the steps and I said, do you know I can hear now? Because I could make out what he said. So he basically said, don't stress.
I said you were meant to hear that.
To use the cochlear implants, JP attaches this transmitter behind her ear, which magnetically connects to the receiver under her skin.
I have a pretty strong magnet on there. I'm very careful not to stick my head in the dryer.
You can see JP is quite the character, and her medical team says her positive attitude played a huge role in her success. She's glad she did it, and now even coaches others to prepare for a different kind of life, telling those terrified of surgery it's worth it not letting another moment tick by without hearing it too.
That is actually my mother's clock, which is why I didn't shoot it. So I'm used to it.
Sarah Thompson, Action 2 News, Pound.
Incredible.
Inspiring story.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Great job.